heard and know this concept working from home until this pandemic situation hit our country. Most of us didn't get exposed to work from home until and unless if you're someone working in the IT sector and few other sectors as well. So Mr. Chinthaka is joining with us today. And he's citing someone who is continuously working from home apart from the company. So, Mr. Chinthaka, tell me, what are the critical things that an organization or a team needs to manage when trying to work remote? What are the things?
Hi, Roshi. Yeah, so for an organization or for an individual, when you think about working from home, there are many things that you can think about and many things that you need to manage. But I would like to maybe focus on three things, right? So if you are a manager or a part of a team, or even if you are an individual performer, right? Number one is connectivity. In the sense, when I say connectivity, everyone will think of the internet. But what I'm talking about is connecting with your team and your peers, right? That's critical. Even though we are here in the world social distancing, we are social creatures. So we do need to connect, and technology offers that solution to connect with the people that you need to at the relevant time. And that has to be structured. So if there is no structure, there will again be failures. So you need to think about how are you going to connect with your people. So certain processes, certain mechanisms will have to think of. Will have to be thought of rather, and then we'll have to figure out how do we connect with our people. Right? That's very critical to make sure everyone is focused, everyone knows what needs to be done, as well as to keep that community going to achieve the relevant targets and milestones. Then when we talk about the second thing, again, I spoke of targets, tasks, right? We are so used to going to office at 8 o'clock, working till 5. And if you look at an entire week, what have we actually done, right? So when you're, how do you define tasks and how do you measure tasks, right? Is it simply on the number of hours you work or on actual progress that you make on a particular task, right? So IT is quite used to working from home, as you said, or remotely. And we are driven by task completion, right? How do we manage tasks? What do we define as tasks? How do we monitor tasks, and how do we get them completed? So defining a task and having a process to manage that is critical. Then lastly, I would like to talk about the culture, right? And this, I guess, is an empowerment more than anything else. Organizations will have to now really think of reality that has come, and there is a huge mind change that has to happen, right? Though the government is now speaking about shifting to working from home and being available, still even the private sector is struggling to figure out how do we do this, right? So the number one thing is having the open-mindedness to be available online, right? So you have the flexibility of working from a remote location. However, you are available, you are open, you are responsive to satisfy your customer, satisfy the need of the organization. So this is a huge mind shift that people have to be willing to accept. So the three things, again, number one is connecting with your people. How do we mechanize that? How do we have a process for it? How do you measure that? Then the task. What do you define as a task as an organization? Are you simply driven by time, or are you simply or are you driven by more than time and actual completion of actual tangible work? Then the other thing is, how do you get your people to actually do work from home, right? Because that itself takes a lot of personal ownership, responsibility, cultural shift in your mind, and things at home also will need to change because your husband or your wife is not at home, they're at work. So you need to think about these changes when you think about working from home or remotely. But I think it's a good thing that we have a technologically savvy generation now. They are used to being online. Now the shift has to be, how do you actually do productive work? How do you use your devices to do something productive and have an end deliverable at the end of the day? That's going to be the challenge.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chinthaka. I think having the mindset to be available and being responsible are the key words. So wherever you work, the work is being done. So thank you very much for joining with us.
Thank you, Roshi.
We'll hope like when the situation, yes, goes
All
smoother,
right.
like we'll have all these conversation sessions. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. Thank you.